In this video, we're going to be talking about my beauty favorites. These are the items that have me slightly in a chokehold right now. One caveat, if you're here for luxury beauty content, I am not the luxury beauty girl. When it comes to clothes and beauty and basically everything, I like a mix of high and low. I have like maybe 2 items that are kind of more pricier, but a lot of the items that I like, you can either get at Sephora or the drugstore. Let's get started. So right now in the summer, my skin is super oily, but come winter, I become almost combination. I do have patches like on my forehead and my cheeks that may be a little bit drier than the rest of my face, but for the most part, in the winter, I'm almost normal. My skin is very durable, so any product that I'm using on my face, just take that into consideration. If you have really sensitive or dry skin, some of these things might not work for you. So the first product are these Muslin cleaning cloths. So I got started using these because I found that when I removed my makeup and washed my face, I would still find makeup around certain areas. So when I remove my makeup, I tend to use like Neutrogena wipes or this cleansing water. That's great for taking the makeup off. And I feel like a lot of people think that they're good after that. You are not. I don't care how tired I am, I go a step further and I wash my face. But I found that even with washing my face, especially around the perimeter of my face, I often found that the makeup would either be stuck in my baby hairs or like just in creases of my face. Another reason that I started using this is because my esthetician and my friends kind of shamed me out of using that St. Ives apricot scrub. But your girl has turned over a new leaf. I have quit St. Ives. I do use these at night to remove makeup, but I do find myself using these occasionally in the morning on days where I feel like I need to exfoliate. I feel like it's really good at removing the sunscreen in the morning, especially on days when I like run outside and I have sunscreen and sweat just like in my face and my neck, everywhere. So these cloths are huge. This is folded. So the way you're supposed to use these is you either can apply the cleanser directly to your face or on the cloth. I do both. You then just take the wet cloth and just kind of use it to remove everything on your face. So after you use this to wash your face, you need to rinse it out and just hang it to dry. I have a bunch of these, so I tend to use them like for 1 or 2 days at a time, then I throw it in the wash. You essentially just treat these like white cotton. I have white sheets on my bed, so I just throw these in the hamper, and then when I wash my white sheets and towels, I just throw them in the wash with them, and it's fine. I tend to line dry them, but occasionally they have gone into the dryer and they're fine. I think these are a great product if you're like myself, where you wear makeup, especially the Longwear makeup, and you have oily skin. I don't know what it is about oil and foundation, but that combination just tends to stick to the face and actually get in my pores. And so using something like this will help kind of dig that out, but without overstripping my face. If you have very dry or sensitive skin, I'm not sure how this would work for you. Oily girls or girls with durable skin, this is for you. So this bag is $22 and it comes with 3 cleansing cloths. And I would say the cleansing cloths can last you anywhere from a month to 3 months. If you're gonna wash these every time you use them, I do think it's going to cut down on how long you're going to be able to use them. I tend to buy like 2 packs, so I end up having 6. They look pretty good for a while, and then one day they're just going to look old. This is an old one that I was about to get rid of. It has lint balls. There's a few makeup stains that I just couldn't get off. Once they start looking a little worn, that's when it's time to get rid of them. So these come from a brand called Voluminous, but I have been seeing a couple of dupes. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be like, $22 is a lot for cleansing cloths, and I get that. I think I saw a dupe at H&M. They have 2 Muslin cleansing cloths for I think $7. Let me know what you think. So kind of talking about what I do with my face every day. I just wash my face with CeraVe. It's no muss, no fuss. I feel like during the pandemic, I was washing my face with Dove. The only reason I stopped is because my esthetician kind of, not shamed me, but she kind of was like, you need to be using something a little bit better than just Dove soap. So my esthetician also got me using a vitamin C serum regularly. I started using the ordinary vitamin C. I was really using it really sporadically. I've heard a lot of rave reviews about it, and I probably used about 2 bottles. I even got my sister to try it. I liked it, but I didn't feel like it was a notable difference. So recently this year, I got a chemical peel. For part of my aftercare, my esthetician recommended that I start using vitamin C regularly. She uses PCA products, and that's what she recommends, but I'm not paying $100 for vitamin C, not this moment in time. So she recommended that I use this Neutrogena Rapid Tone Repair Vitamin C. It is a 20% vitamin C serum. So I just finished my 2nd bottle and I'm on my 3rd right now. So I feel like everybody uses vitamin C differently. I've always been told that vitamin C is best to be used in the morning after you wash your face, but before you put on sunscreen. So that's how I use it. So these are fairly easy to use. They have a little top that you just kind of pop off and you apply to your face. The one thing about vitamin C is it does burn. I found that even though I'd used the ordinary version, I still had a little bit stinging the first couple of times. Hell, I still get stinging now. But when I first started using this, I was using this every other day. I was a little skeptical about vitamin C, but now that I've been essentially using it for about 2 months, I do feel like a little bit of difference, especially in my tone and texture. Chemical peels are really great for accelerating cell turnover and helping to fade hyperpigmentation and even tone, but it's only 1 day of the month. So my understanding is the peels do continue to work for 30 days, but the vitamin C helps with the peels done. If you've seen my video, peels are brutal. They work much faster. The reason a lot of people use vitamin C, it gives you results similar to a peel, but over time. I felt like in between my first and second peel, my skin started to get a little bit dull. Now that I've been using the vitamin C, I feel like the brightness of the peel is persisting a little bit longer than it did the first time I got the peel. That's kind of letting me know that using this vitamin C as part of my aftercare is actually working. And it could have been the fact that I was more consistent, but the best solution is the solution that you use, and this has been working for me. So I'm very oily, and I will say I feel like vitamin C makes my skin feel a little bit oilier, especially in the summer. I've definitely used vitamin C in the winter, and I felt like I wasn't as oily. Like I said, I put vitamin C on, and then I put on sunscreen over it. I feel like vitamin C works for most everybody. I've since learned from the peels that I have very sensitive cheeks. If you're one of those people that things just really bother you, I would talk to a dermatologist before using vitamin C. This is $30 for 30 capsules. I would say that's more of a low to mid-range price for vitamin C. The Ordinary has 2 types of vitamin C that I've used. The more cheaper one by the Ordinary is around $7, and the more expensive one is around $13. There are much more expensive options. I know Paul's Choice makes a version that's like $60, and of course there's I can pronounce it in real life, but I know that Skinceuticals makes a version, but it's like $169. For those of you that use it, I love that for you. I heard that the results are outstanding. Maybe when I get older, I will use the $169 one, but for now, I'm sticking to the $30 one. So next up is sunscreen. I'm currently using Black Girl sunscreen, and I'm really enjoying it. I started using sunscreen daily over 10 years ago. I went to a dermatologist because I had a couple of skin tags, and she removed them with the laser. But she did tell me that if I don't want them to return, I have to start using sunscreen. So her telling me that kind of scared me straight, and I've been using sunscreen every day since. And I was using a CeraVe sunscreen, and it was okay, but I definitely felt like it was giving me the white cast. There was a really good Aveeno sunscreen that I loved, but it just had soy in it. Soy acts a little bit like estrogen in your body. I always want to limit the amount of soy and estrogen I'm taking into my body, so I didn't want to be slathering my face and neck with a product that was going to act like estrogen daily. This is the moisturizing formula with like jojoba and avocado oil. Now, I'm oily. At first, I was a little bit afraid, but I had heard a lot of good things from people who have oily skin. So I've not had any problem with breakouts. I feel like it's gonna be perfect for me in the winter. I feel like in the summer, it's a little bit too moisturizing, so I'm gonna try the matte formula. But either way, it's a good product. On days where I do use this, I tend to put powder on my face before I put my makeup primer, and it's fine. As the name implies, this product is great for Black women. I think anybody with melanin would benefit from this, especially if you're struggling with sunscreens that give you that white chalky cast. So I bought this at Target, and it was like $15.99, basically $16. Before I was wearing Aveeno and Neutrogena, which were right around the $8 to $10 range. I've heard a lot of good things about SuperGoop, but I know SuperGoop is much more expensive. I'm rooting for everybody Black, so I definitely wanted to try Black Girl sunscreen and give it a try, and I'm really enjoying it. So let me know if you've ever tried it and what you think. So next up is foundation. I am a NARS girl through and through. As a Black woman, especially growing up, it was always hard for me to find foundations. MAC never worked for me. I used Bobbi Brown for years. I loved it. I think something happened with the Bobbi Brown foundation that I was using. Maybe the formula got discontinued. A makeup artist that worked for NARS kind of turned me on to it, and I've been hooked ever since. For the longest time, I was using the All Day Luminous. I currently have the All Day Luminous on just because I find that it's a little bit more matte, and I like that finish on camera. The reason I love the light reflecting foundation is it's really pretty in person. Every time I wear it, people are like, oh, your skin looks pretty. Do you have something on? Your girl likes that. So when I bought it, the artist told me that the reason NARS made it was it's supposed to be kind of like skincare. A lot of foundations don't feel good on or feel like they're good for your skin. This actually feels good on. When I put this on, it felt a little bit like tinted moisturizer, but a little bit heavier. I'm definitely a matte finish girl, but I feel like the dewy lit from within thing is in. So that's why this is popular. Because it has a dewy finish, I tend to have to make sure that my face is very matte prior. Like I put on sunscreen, I put a loose powder on my face, then I put my primer on, and then I put my foundation on. I don't have any favorite primers. I currently use the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. It's supposed to minimize pores. I feel like my pores are a little bit larger than I want to be, so anything that says it's gonna minimize my pores, I'm always gonna use it. So NARS foundation is supposed to be applied with your hand. Sometimes I apply with my hand, sometimes I apply with a foundation brush. Regardless of what I use to apply the foundation with, I always buff it in with a beauty blender. This is like the original beauty blender. It's that girl. The foundation has a skin-like finish, and I think the buffing kind of just makes everything kind of just melt into your skin. I tend to like NARS foundation because I feel like they're very, very pretty in person. I feel like when I go out in real life, I look good. I look like myself. I don't look like I have makeup on. Now, don't get me wrong. I am in the hunt for foundation that makes me look like I have makeup on, because sometimes I find on camera, I want to look pixel perfect. So I'm still in the market for that. But if you want something that looks like skin, I recommend this. I feel like this is good for all skin types, but do your research. NARS has a ton of foundations depending on, they have a matte finish, they have this light reflecting, they have all day radiant. It's all about the finish and the coverage you want. This foundation is $49. I think that's about average. I feel like most good non-drugstore foundations are gonna be like the $50 to $60 range. I used to wear Bobbi Brown. I've heard good things about all the NARS products. When I worked as a wardrobe stylist, I feel like all the makeup artists tried to recommend that I use Armani Beauty. I'm unwilling to use Armani Beauty because I remember when they first launched, they had a range, and the range had like 10, 15 colors. They didn't have any brown shades. I totally understand brands having like one brown girl shade and maybe one dark shade, but they had nothing. I feel like they didn't even have colors for people with olive skin, which was a no-no for me. So I just can't fool with it. I'm gonna stick beside her. Let me know what you think of the NARS foundation that I have on. So next up is this microblading pen. So I've been hearing everybody talking about microblading pens, and I was a little bit hesitant because when I was like 15 or 16, I remember I drew in my eyebrows. I went a little bit dark. My younger brother told me I looked like Mr. Potato Head. I have still not recovered from that situation. I was afraid of the microblading pens because I just knew I was gonna have a Mr. Potato Head moment. So currently I use the Precisely My Brow pencil. I love this pencil. I currently still use it to define my brows. The only reason I decided to venture out and buy this, I was watching a makeup tutorial and the YouTuber recommended that I try this. She showed me how to use it. Y'all, I was sold. I bought it, I tried it how she told me to. I haven't looked back. I feel like I've been using it for a month. This is the original one I bought, and I probably have a couple more months of use on this, but Target was having a 25% off beauty sale, so girl, hurry up and got it because I like it that much. This is called the Milani Weekend Brow in Espresso. So the YouTuber that I saw, she did her whole brow with it. It's an advanced eyebrow product. If you never shade your brows, I would recommend the Precisely My Brow pencil. It's goof proof, it's easy to learn how to use. This is the AP Course Brow. If you've been filling in your brows for a couple of years, then I recommend you actually try this one. I tend to draw my brow initially, just kind of give it a shape, maybe fill it in. I take the Weekend Brow and then use it to fill in hairs. So if you mess up, it does go on dark. The good thing about it is if you make a mistake, you can kind of just brush up your brows and kind of fix it. If you've never drawn hairlight strokes on your eyebrows, you may struggle. So practice with this pencil, and then you can move on to the pen. I'm addicted. The lipstick I have on currently is from Milani, and it's discontinued, and I'm struggling to find a replacement. All I can say is they better never, ever, ever discontinue this, because I'm gonna be mad. I don't really hoard products, but this is a product I would definitely hoard. I'm loving those really bold, laminated, bushy brows. I've used pomade in the past. A pomade can definitely give you like a bushy brow. My pomade brow skills are just not what they need to be. This is giving me life. So in terms of price, this was like $8 at Target. I do feel like Kat Von D has a similar product, but I'm gonna stick beside this one. Next up are Fenty lip glosses and lip stains. I first started using the Fenty Beauty lip stain in Uncensored. I feel like I'm like every other black woman who used to wear Ruby Woo from MAC. It was a little dry though. I've definitely worn other like red liquid lips. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do a video about all my favorite lip shades. I feel like my friend Aisha either got me using the Fenty Beauty lip stain in Uncensored or this Gloss Bomb in Fenty Glow. Regardless, I've since added other colors. If you've seen the majority of my videos, if I have a red lip on, I have on Uncensored. The reason I like these shades is I feel like they're very true. I know a lot of people like to mix and match their shades. If you see me wearing Uncensored, I don't use a liner with this. I have a very neutral pink lip. Most shades on me look exactly like they do in the tube. Similar to these glosses. With this hot chocolate shade, I do tend to put on like a brown lip liner just to kind of amp it up a little bit. The one thing I like about Fenty Beauty, especially their lips, they are universally flattering on everybody. The lip stain is currently $26 and the glosses are now $20. The prices have gone up because I feel like the lip stain was like $22 and these were like $18, but inflation. I feel like there's a ton of alternatives. I feel like for a long time, most glosses were really sticky, like the MACs. We no longer want lip gloss that when our hair blows into our lip gloss, it gets stuck, and I'm all for that. Let me know if you currently use any of these Fenty Beauty lips. So next up is hair. And your girl has some grays, and so I use this Root Touch-Up stick. I get my hair trimmed about every 8 weeks. So that means I'm often having to deal with grays, especially around my perimeter and along my part. When my hair is curly and out, it's a little bit harder to see. But when my hair is slicked down like this, which I tend to wear, especially now in the summer that it's humid, I gotta break this out. And the thing I like about this is it has this little tip and you can just kind of like go in and color in the grays that need to be colored in. Now, I will say this Root Touch-Up stick is better for people who are not like 100% gray. I don't have much gray in the back, that I have some gray right here, like right here and along my part. The irony of life is the places where I don't part my hair, I have no gray. The places that I love to part my hair, I got gray. If I'm pushing up on week 6 and I have 2 more weeks of getting my hair dyed, I sometimes do have to break this out. The good thing about it is it doesn't come off in my hand. Like anything else, you can put it a little bit too dark. It has this little tip that you can kind of blend in. It's similar to a blender that you would use for like blending makeup, but it's for the hair. I love it. I can carry it in my purse. Who's gonna know? The only time it can be a problem is maybe if I'm gonna wear a hat, maybe the hat will kind of make it come off. I started off using this Root Touch-Up, but I feel like this is better for somebody who has a bunch of gray. And I primarily use this one when I have like braids in my hair and like my scalp is all exposed. And so I have more sections that need to be sprayed. So using this one, you just kind of spray, but because it is something you spray on, there is something that kind of adheres to your hair. I've definitely had times where I've had it in my hair, I've rubbed and it's come off in my hands. So I don't love that. If you're like over 50% gray, then I would recommend this. If you're like me and your grays are like everywhere but just kind of dispersed out, this is better for you. They have a bunch of colors. This is the dark brown. I do think they have a jet black. They have a lighter color. I feel like they have a red. The shades are actually pretty good. This is also a dark brown. They're pretty universal. If you're kind of in between shades, I almost feel like you need to go a little bit lighter because it's easier to hide something that's lighter, but if you've sprayed something on that's darker than your hair, it stands out. The Touch-Up stick is around $10. I feel like the first time I bought this was at a Target, but I haven't been able to find it at Target lately. But I know Ulta has it online and I believe Walmart. This, everybody has it. I got this one from Target. I feel like there's so many alternatives. I've seen really, really expensive ones that people use like for their edges. This does the same exact thing for $10. If you're on the fence and if you're kind of thinking about buying the more expensive one, I say try a $10 one before you try like a $30 one that you see online. It may do exactly what you need it to do. Another hair product is just Scalp Oil. It's the Milani Organics Rosemary Mint Scalp and Hair Strengthening Oil. I buy oils all the time. I do apply oils to my scalp. I got this as promo somewhere. I've tried a lot of different ones. I think the thing that I love best about this is the dropper. I feel like the dropper makes it so much easier to use than all the other hair oils. Like I said, I've used the main choice version. I like this one better because it's so much easier to use. I just part my hair, apply it to my scalp, massage it, and I'm good to go. I'm almost done with this bottle. And when I feel like when I'm done with this bottle, I would take some of my old oils and put it in here and use it to apply because I want to use up those oils. I just want to know if this is a superior oil or if it's the dropper that has me in love. I kind of feel like it might be the dropper, but I won't know unless I try it. This is great if you have a dry scalp. I don't feel like other races oil their scalps like Black women do. Most Black women do not wash their hair daily, so our scalps can do weird things, especially if your scalp is dry or if you're having issues with like growth. These oils are perfect, right? So this oil is actually about $10, which I think is very, very similar to the main choice version. I like the fact that this one is glass. The main choice bottle is plastic. I feel like the delivery system and the glass bottle make it superior. That's a very comparable alternative. I know that there are more expensive alternatives. I have an Aveda oil that's very similar, but it does not have the dropper. A scalp oil without a good mechanism of getting it on your scalp is essentially worthless. Let me know if you use scalp oil. So the last item is hand salve. Now I have super, super dry hands. I don't know if it's a combination of hand washing. Maybe I'm just using water that's too hot, whatever it is. My hands are dry, even in the summer. And so I use a different product in the winter that's like super, super oily, but I found that in the summertime, it just wasn't working out. I started using this recently. I got this specific bottle from the Nordstrom's anniversary sale. I needed a small one to fit in my bag. It was like $10.50. I guess the regular price is $16. It's a little expensive. I'm definitely gonna guard this hand salve with my life because nobody wants to drop $16 on the ground. I tend to always keep hand lotion in my bag, but it's like, you know, free samples or $5 one that you got from Target. So what I like about this one is it kind of keeps your hands protected, almost like a glove. It's not oily at all. So summertime is perfect. They do recommend that every time you wash your hands, you put it on, but that's fine for me. I'm not like a doctor or somebody who's working in the medical field who's washing their hands and can't reapply. I think this good product is good for everybody, especially if you don't like oil on your hands. As I said, this was $10. The larger bottles are much more expensive. It's Kiehl's, so it's not a cheap hand lotion. I wish it was cheap. I used to use Lucerne and Carry, but this is just working for me right now. So those are my beauty faves. I'm not a big person on experimentation. I will experiment until I find something I like, and I will continue to use it until it stops working. I could definitely do these twice a year, because if I do this in the winter, it might be different types of products. I would like to do more beauty content, but I don't know what you guys think. If you're interested in more beauty content, I'm gonna link my video about my chemical peel experience here. But if you're interested in more of my fashion content, I'll also link a video right here. Take a look. I'll see you at the next video. Bye.